Teachers, I just used AI to create a murder mystery game and it is legit. So once you're in, the students have access to 6 different chatbots that are the dinner guests. So essentially I could go back and forth with these different characters, interrogating each one, taking notes, trying to figure out who done it. And when I click on Dr. Samuel, it starts the conversation.
Greetings, I am Dr. Samuel, a medical professional currently involved in the investigation of Mr. Charles Blackwood's death.
It doesn't have to be about murder. You could make this into who stole the cookie from the cookie jar, who left muddy footprints on the carpet. It could be anything. Let me show you just quickly how I set this up. Okay, so to make this work, the first thing I needed to do was set up a story for the game to be based around. So I went to Raina, the chatbot on MagicSchool, and I just asked Raina to create the story. I said, I want a game set up that's like Clue. I want you to create a detailed story. I need you to create a beginning, middle, and end where one of the 6 house guests ends up being a killer. So here it creates the whole story. And this right here will become the knowledge base of all the chatbots, which I'll show you that in a second. All right, so once the story was created, then I needed to create a prompt for each of the chatbots, so each of the house guests. So I asked Raina to create a prompt for a custom chatbot to follow as instructions. So Raina's gonna write the prompt for me. I want the chatbot to act as Lady Margaret as described above in the story. Students will be questioning Lady Margaret, trying to determine who the killer is in the story. At no point should the chatbot reveal the final answer who the killer was. Please write the prompt. So here, check it out. Raina wrote the whole prompt for Lady Margaret. So I would just copy and paste this into the instructions for the chatbot, which I'll show you that in a second as well. So let's fast forward a little bit. So imagine you've created your whole story and then you made for each of the characters their own chatbot instructions. I'm going to go to MagicStudent. I'm going to go to create a new room. This is where you would name it something like, you know, I could change this to murder mystery. I'm going to set this for higher grade level, like for 12th grade. I'm going to hit next. Then here, this is where you're going to grab chatbots for each of those characters. So I'm going to go to custom chatbot. All right, so there I have 6 of those chatbots added. So I'm going to hit next. Now I'm going to customize each one. This is the part that takes the longest, but basically what I would do is I go to customize. Let me show you the type of customizing I did for each character. So what I did is I named it Lady Margaret. I even added a little emoji. I put the description of Lady Margaret that came with the story that we generated with Raina. I chose a voice for Lady Margaret. I'm going to change this to 12th grade. Then here, this is what's really important. The instructions for the chatbot. These are the instructions that we created with Raina, where I had Raina write the instructions like how is Lady Margaret going to act in this story? And then down here, the knowledge base, this is where I pasted in the actual story that we created with Raina. So you have the story here and then the chatbot instructions here. And then what I did for the student side is I hid, so you can click these little eyeballs, I hid each of those fields, so all the student sees is the button to start the conversation. So then I can test this out to see if it's working correctly, and then I would hit save. And you would do that same process for each of these chatbots until each character is created. Once done, all you have to do is hit launch room, and then you can give your students access to this room with a link. And what's great as a teacher is you can see the entire conversation the students having with all the AI chatbots, and then you get to be the one to reveal at the end who the actual killer was based on the story that you created. Maybe experiment with this with your students for the end of the school year.